Hello and welcome to another tournament game in Line War. This is the beginners tournament, which is not an official tournament, but it's a tournament that all new as experienced players are looking forward to. Of course, new players to just get in there, try to play a tournament, etc. And all of the experienced players looking forward to watch what is the skill level in all our new players. And it's been surprisingly good so far, and I think we got a treat today as well. We're watching Group A, the virtual against McLaw, and last time I said I don't know any of these players' skill levels, but I actually played against McLaw just yesterday, and he's good. So I'm very impressed so far. So let's see where this takes us. And for players who've been watching a few replays, they might notice something new up here in the right corner. We have a replay overlay thingy, so we can actually watch the energy and the income of multiple players at once. We've been looking forward to this for so long. So yeah, this is as you can see also down here, it's a development branch, development build, so it's not in the main game yet, but I thought I would try it out. Now let's dive into the game itself. And good picking spots from both players also shows they know how to pick the good spots. Very central, especially in a map like this. Center control is everything. There is a lot of energy and not that much eco. We have 3 towns in the north and 3 towns in the south, but spread out. All energy is kind of like in the outer skirts of the map though. So let's see, this could be a very interesting game. It's one of those maps that I think are just very tough to play because it's so open. So you probably want units with a lot of mobility. Let's see. McLaw starts out with a insta town, factory, 2 factories actually, and a barracks. While blue starts out with 2 factories, 1 factory and 2 barracks, 3 barracks, and an airport. 1 more barracks for red. And I think the mobility of an airport could be very important in this map, especially with this central position. Notice how even like strikers or interceptors, they can reach so much of the map. So as long as red doesn't have any interceptors, he will need SAMs everywhere, like obviously in the base, but everywhere he has units that he wants to protect, he will need to have SAMs as well. If blue comes up with a decent air threat, of course, and does use his units properly. So the first engagement, they know where each other are. We're already seeing micro. I don't feel like it's justice to call this a beginner tournament. Tiny mistake here. Don't send your artillery to the back to cap, I would say. That said, I do this all the time as well, because you sometimes just draw these standard lines or default lines, which has the artillery toggled on. So it happens to me all the time as well. So it's not like, this is a beginner. Nothing like that. It's just something to be aware of. That said, blue is really trying to micro, but I don't like that he's using blue commands that much. Because he can end up in situations where like 3 red infantry are shooting at this guy and all these are just ignoring it. So red, as long as blue is only using blue commands, red can actually like just take them one at a time. So I would maybe like, it makes sense to back up and gather your units, but then as red approaches, I would definitely switch into an attack command. Otherwise you might as well just dig in instead of having the blue command. Then you have the added bonus, the added bonus of defense, range, damage, etc. Blue is sending a lot of units to cap. And now let's use this overlay for the first time. It's okay, so we can see that's actually missing. Like we can see their income and we can see what they have, but we still can't see their total income. So total is 510 for blue and 565 for red. So red is ahead, and that must be that town. Though to be fair, he's really rushing down here as well. Really like this to kind of cut off blue. Blue has a bunch of helis in the making though. Red is starting to produce air units as well. Already has the refinery up and running. Personal taste, I think this is way too soon to build the refinery. I would only start to build it when I'm already started to drain my initial starting energy. So I will speed it up a bit just because we have 3 games to get through. Though I do think that like a lot of is happening. It's almost just like watching a regular top tournament game actually. This push is very dangerous for blue. I think blue should start using his helis real soon. And see, I just switched view to watch blue's energy, but we can see it right here. It's such a bummer that you cannot see the total income. Now that this is finally added and you cannot see the total income. So frustrating. That's the important part. I don't want to, I mean, of course I want to see this, but the important part is the total income. Oh well, maybe next time. Blue actually decides to go for this army, which is quite surprising, I think. Red with the commando drop on the energy, though he will not find any energy there. This is high level play. Maybe a bit too many SAMs here, but also justifiable when you, especially now when you spot these that the opponent has air. And red is going straight for that airfield now. Airfield. Let's see the reaction time of blue. I don't think that's actually, like, that's not actually a command Oh, it is. Okay. Great play. And we even have expanding barracks over here as well. I was expecting... I mean, okay, I played McLaw yesterday, as I said, so I actually knew he was good. But I still came into this thinking that I can kind of skim through it and just take the... like an overview. But there's actually so much going on. Many skills getting used, or many like strategies, etc. This is one hell of a proxy base. 3 factories, that's very interesting. I don't think I ever seen 3 factories put down as a proxy base. A backcapping barracks. Blue retook this part of the map. It's losing a bunch of helis. Nice SAM placement by Red, and as I mentioned, with the importance of interceptors, and Red is already doing interceptors now. And he's clearly looking for this second refinery. But actually the refinery is down here. But he's on the search for it. That's very clear to see. Blue's building a town to expand on the eco. Let's see, 840 for blue and 850 for red. So it's very equal. Blue gets a town and is heading for the energy. 3 airfields for red. That's crazy. And blue really wants control of this eastern part of the map. The tough part for red now is that if he wants as much territory as blue, he kind of has to like cap all the way over here and here, because I mean, of course he can cap some of this, but he will get very close to the main base of blue. And it's very difficult to defend like a horseshoe like that. And very easy for blue to attack it on multiple fronts. An attempt on a tank rush. Luckily for blue, he has a bunch of units there. He has helis. Those tanks are not getting through. And red decides to build a refinery over here. I would probably put it down over here. Despite this small attacking army here that actually gets the refinery. Well played. Red is struggling on energy now, and he can definitely not support tanks and 3 airports on 1 refinery. This game is intense. Like, I would be sweating right now if I was playing. There's so much going on. So many fronts. Really like this to retreat. He got the refinery. There's no reason to keep pushing. These units will just die. So he takes them over here to support this attack. Really good use of units, and something that many don't think about, because the producers are just, you know, producing every minute, and you kind of get that auto battler feel, and you don't really care about your units that much, but they're actually worth a lot. So saving some of the units to use them elsewhere is really important. As you can also, like, as we all know with helis, like if you can save them, use them, but don't lose them. Oh, that's I think that's gonna be a quote, isn't it? Use them, but don't lose them. But like, then you can build up a huge army of helis and really just overfuse, what's it called, like overwhelm your opponent. If suddenly like 12 helis show up, you need so many SAMs to handle that. This proxy goes down, and so will that refinery, and this is looking very good for blue. Let's look at the total economy. 1100, blue must be ahead, and 1000, so about 100 ahead. I think also maybe red is, yeah, I don't know, maybe it's fair enough to be dug in like that, but he is spending a lot of units on nothing, and traversing these mountains through the longest path through them, it's just really slowing you down. If you want to attack, I would maybe take them over this mountain pass here, so you have as short as time as possible in the mountains, and you can kind of move in here and try to attack blue from the side. It's a good push though, and that's why I think maybe red should discard these. And just push instead. Because he's actually getting close to the main base now. And if red builds up, it looks like he canceled the production though. But if he built up a heli army, he could really counter push. So I don't know if it's a mistake or if he doesn't feel like he can afford it right now. This attack looks really dangerous though, but just like red, blue is going through the mountains and it will slow them down so much, and the helis can just work on these units for the next 2 minutes with no anti-air. Well, obviously there's so many infantry actually. That's why I would also not just have this toggled on. Send even helis, I would send in ones like together. So click the do the start command, remove the helis, let them do their work, and then when all have landed, maybe even repaired a bit, send them again. Red is doing really nice work with these commandos. At least I like the idea. He hasn't actually gotten that much out of them just yet. He will get this town though, and if there had been a refinery, he would have gotten that too. So the idea is very good, definitely. The main base of blue is going down. I would probably send some units over here. Maybe it doesn't know how many units there actually is. Blue is sending SAMs over there, but it's not gonna arrive in time. I think red might be able to turn this around, even though 400 behind. So blue is on 1400, red is on 900. It's actually almost 500 behind. But he can completely cut off blue here, and blue has no production on the left side except this tiny barracks. He just lost a town. He's losing his main base. But he has a huge base over here. Again, I don't know what it is with like taking the mountains as much as possible almost. Like, why not run around with these tanks? These tanks could have done so much damage. While this army was attacking and there was a focus here, these tanks just speed running directly into the main base, getting this energy depot and the refinery. All of these air units would be paralyzed basically, right? So, but it's looking good anyways. It's looking really good anyways. And I don't think red can come back. Blue just has too much money now. And this will crumble all of red's air. And now he has 3 unusable airports. Let me just, I'm just getting annoyed. What? Okay, so the tooltip disabling doesn't work in beta or what? Oh, now it does. Okay. So yeah, I think blue is gonna get this one now. This is a huge proxy base. I think that says it all when you can build such a big base right behind enemy lines so quickly even. Blue recognizes he has a few units here just doing nothing. They can recap all of this and all of this. Also to spot for any proxy bases, I guess. Two airports full of units. And red can't really do anything about it. He doesn't have that much money. And it's very risky to put up any energy. And it's just a defense game from now. Like, look at this. You have too much money when you can put down 6 barracks like that. Then you know you're gonna win. He actually puts down a refinery here. I kinda like it, but it's not gonna work. Maybe if blue was not paying attention, but unfortunately red is up against a player that does pay attention across the whole map, even when he completely, pinned his opponent down into just one main base, right? And this is really like the definition of being pinned down, I think. The eco difference must be huge now. 1000 still for red, but 1500. So not only do we not get to see like the total capital income, which is the most important parameter, I still have to switch between the players because the hover function doesn't work on the player below. So yeah, I appreciate it, Basantos. Thank you for adding it, but that's next time. Yeah, this is what happens in the development build, so nothing too concerning about that. I will jump into the second game between these two guys. First win to blue. Let's see what happens in the second game. Okay, we are back into the second game between the Virtual in blue and McLaw in red. Let me just see if I can get this. There you go. Okay. The new nice overlay that doesn't provide the information that we want. Okay, now I actually didn't see the starting positions, so I cannot comment too much on that. Or the picking phase, obviously. This is interesting. There's 2 trade routes up here, and red is clearly going for that. 2 towns, one is insta-built, then 1 factory and 3 barracks. Blue with 1 town, 2 barracks and 1 factory, and then industry. but blue still has quite a bit of money in the bank, 600. This is going to be so important. If I was blue, I would rush to this point. So would I if I was red. If red can dig in here, like, he completely cuts off blue. Red just needs an entrenchment here and here, then it's looking really good for red. Blue does have a local trade route down here. Easy to set up. And how's it looking on gas? 1 gas, 2 gas. This one is risky though. And red actually only has this one. So this island also opens up for a lot of gas units. Not island, but I don't know what the correct term is. You know what I mean? So I don't know if red actually like thought about cutting off blue here, because it's not like he's sent all his units here. So I'm so surprised that neither of these players are focusing on winning this center. I would be up there so fast with like 90% of my army. Also, it of course depends on your money and your plans, but maybe just send these infantry up here and get this right away and then cap it backwards. So you can, when you have the money, you can set up the trade routes. So this is very good for red. Very good. Now blue needs to push through an entrenchment, or blue needs to have transport boats. Could be interesting to see either of the players doing a shipyard in this small lake. Because you could just move around the entrenchments and you could attack directly into the main base. More so for red though, or against red I guess. Blue could do a naval invasion right here. That's gonna be tough to defend. Of course you need a lot of energy and transport boats though. And blue is doing the transport boat just as I expected. Like, this is a necessity if he wants to stay in the game at all. This might be a bit too defensive, but I also, like, it doesn't make sense to put down 4 infantry in this group of infantry, of course. So they will soon find each other over here. Not just yet, but in seconds. And red can actually cut off this energy from blue, which could end up meaning more than you would expect, because that means blue only has this one and potentially this one. That's not a lot of energy. Here I would definitely also just make a broader line, maybe even multiple. With so many infantry, these are not capping efficiently at all. Like, look how many didn't even reach the territory before it was already capped. So just make a full line so they fill up the whole land as they move across. That's what I would do at least. I like this from red, no reason to be aggressive, just dig in and keep blue contained. I also like this proxy base hidden in the forest that can support this fairly quickly, instead of units having to move all the way. He actually shut off some of his production. I like that. But yeah, now it would have been a good time to, if he had already capped this, he could shut off this production and put money into the trade routes. With such a slow expansion on the left side though, Blue actually has a shot at taking this left side back. Let's look at the eco. 800 for blue and 850 for red. And I think it was actually 780. I just tend to, you know, round up and round down. But that's actually significant, like 780 to 850. That's 70 income. That's 10% more. I like this. That's exactly what I was talking about, just in the middle. So maybe he should have done it in the middle. Like, this gives the opportunity to do it. Oh, he can actually go around. I didn't spot that. But he knows he will struggle on energy, so he goes around to get this. And red does it in the middle as well. Building up eco. And now they run into each other over here. Red responds with 2 barracks. 3 barracks. That is a lot. But blue is using his helis. Which can really help in a landing, and so that's, yeah. It actually makes sense to try to land close to the airports, so he can get air support. He could land here or here, maybe over here where like red doesn't have mountains, and then he could have his helis over here. He could move the strikers from this airport to this airport. And then he could also help with strikers as well as helis. Now we see a landing from red as well, and blue is completely out of energy as he captures this one. Still hasn't built it though. And red's eco is just blowing up now, 1300 against 900, so this is looking really, really good for red, just as expected. I think blue lost when he lost this fight so easily. And now red can just, with complete control of this lake, red can do whatever he wants. He has all the energy in the world. And blue just can't do anything now. Completely immobilized. And red still has plenty of eco to build. Plenty of gas. This is a good attempt though. Could hit a nice proxy base, but yeah, blue is just falling behind on eco now. As in, very much behind. And blue will get a naval invasion from west as well. As soon as these transports... Well, he actually lost the shipyard. But over time, if we get that far into the game. This was a great landing from blue though. Really nice. Blue just doesn't have any money. And red immediately responds with putting down a few more producers. Probably a bit too close though. He might need to take over some of these units, exactly as he does. Yeah, I think this game is over before it even began. That's over what's the exaggeration. That's what I mean. What I mean is basically still though that it was over when red dug in here and blue couldn't get through. Didn't even try. And red just disbanded this entrenchment and just went around and destroyed the shipyard. This army is dead. It did get the 2 producers, but it didn't get any further than that. And yeah, that's it. I don't think anyone is in doubt who's gonna win here. Okay. Well played by both. That means they have a third and final game. So let's just jump straight into that and see who comes out on top of these 2 players. Okay, so here we are, the last game between the Virgil in blue and McLaw in red, fighting for those crucial points in Group A to proceed to the winner's bracket. Blue picks over here. I don't like that as a first pick. I think this one is definitely better. I mean, there is a lot of eco down here. There's like 4 cities. But red also has access to 3 cities and a bunch of towns and 2 trade routes. And once again, blue only has 1 energy. So I think this is gonna be tough for blue. He will have a very hard time expanding. He could get control of this. I wonder if he is just going in on a like a all-in rush here. But red does the smart thing and actually insta-build producers. Just with the, I assume the idea that blue is perhaps quite close. And as soon as he spots blue, he runs over to dig in. Okay, blue is going all in on an infantry rush. That could work. If it doesn't lose too many in a uneven fight against a entrenchment here. This could actually end up being quite dangerous. Also because red did this eco building and he's doing 2 factories. That's gonna be really hard to contain this many infantry units. Blue also has some forest he can fight in. This might pay off. And red will gain a, what's it called? A a rough learning about rushes and close spawns, eco buildings and factories. Well, let's see. It could be that these infantry dies off. Because it is all or nothing. I think blue has close to no economy. Let me just switch this back on if I can. There you go. It's a bit fiddly because it's the same commands as the Steam overlay. 415 and 330. So red has 100 more, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a lot in the beginning. Like it's 33% more almost. And blue's doing no cabbing at all, so he's really all or nothing right now. He has to get those reducers. Don't fight in the mountains, go around. And red is doing a bunch of tiny entrenchments. I kind of like that. He's holding on, trying to get a few more producers down. And I think now that blue has decided not to cap in the back territory, no reason to cap this. Just put these on an attack command. As he actually has done with these, but just not these. So that's a little weird. Maybe it's a mistake. But it's all about rushing these buildings down now. And walk around that entrenchment. If he blue commands around here, or just like this, that's okay as well. But he needs the support from these units. And he doesn't, like, that's so many units wasted. It's all or nothing, it's dying out. Red might be able to hold on. Blue is definitely using his units inefficiently. Eco 350 for blue, 45 for red. So still 100 difference. This is the absolute worst thing blue could do. Walking across mountains straight into an entrenchment with like 3-4 units at a time. He could not have made a worse decision. He needs to stop sending in one infantry at a time to just get bombarded by all of these artillery. This could help him quite a bit. Because remember, capping your opponent's territory is always much better than capping neutral territory. Because not only do you gain 10 income, but you take away 10 from your opponent. So opponent's territory are basically worth 20, so to speak, compared to neutral territory, which would be just 10, right? So if blue takes over 5 of these territories, he's basically equaled out the 100 income difference between them. And I'm sorry to say, but blue just keeps messing up here. Now he's just standing there, letting, like, he's not even firing. He's just letting red do his thing. And red is so confident now that he's starting to build eco buildings. And I think this will end up in a counter push in a minute. I really like the idea from blue, and he could have won, I think. But you need to be better than your opponent, at least at micro. Because now, let's see, red has 5 barracks and 2 factories, and blue has 7 barracks. So they are already equal in amount of producers, and from now on red will just get more and more money. So now he will start to get more producers than blue in just a minute, and this will start to get pushed back. So yeah, a lot of mistakes by blue. Good idea, good nice thoughts from a strategic point of view. Just the execution was at times really good, but when it really needed to be very good at the end to get those final producers, he just yeah, couldn't make it work, unfortunately. So I don't think there's too much reason to, because now it's just too late. Like, you cannot catch up on eco now. 370 and almost 600. So red is at double the income now, and he has a huge army incoming. And blue can only dig in with infantry, which red's artillery can just shoot at from a distance. So that's really interesting. Like, blue starts off winning the first set between them, and I don't know why. I still don't know what to call set. I don't know, a game and a match when you play 3 and like you get 1 point for all of them. I don't know the terminology. I should ask in the Discord, or you can tell me in the comments what you think makes sense. But yeah, blue starting off winning the first game between them, and then red winning the next 2. That's a nice comeback. And here comes the air support as well. Yeah, really nice comeback actually from red, and these 2 players really good. I like right now I feel one of these 2 players could win the tournament. I haven't seen the other players, to be fair, so I don't know if there's any other players out there that is this good in the beginners tournament. But right now my gut feeling says that these 2 definitely has a shot at winning this tournament. So we might see them again against each other in the final, who knows. But or maybe other really good players are among the yeah, what, I don't know, I'm just rambling now. You know what I mean. Let's see. Potential winners here, very good players. I am so surprised by the skill level of these new players. It's really incredible. I kind of fear the next tournament. There might be a lot of good players. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and yeah, have a nice day. Bye.